Welcome back to the channel.
Hi.
We are back.
Spencer says hi.
And we have just done a little shopping at Barnes & Noble. And see, the last time that we were doing a book haul, Connor talked about how he got a bunch of books, but he wasn't much of a reader. You have any updates for them?
Well, I got really into Game of Thrones either right before or right after that. Right after buying those books. So I haven't touched them. They look good.
But I think we can now call you a certified reader.
Okay.
He has read the entirety of Game of Thrones in 3 months.
Yeah, I've almost finished the very last book, being the second volume of the last book, because there's 5 books, but I'm reading it in 7 individual books because 2 of them are split in 2. If that makes any sense.
It does.
Okay.
So, this time we were specifically looking for some fantasy sci-fi books to replace Game of Thrones.
We sure were.
Because now that you are a certified reader, we need to keep your interest.
Good luck.
We have each picked out 2 books, and we're going to go through them. I don't know anything about my books. Well, actually, I do know. I know a lot about one book. I don't know about the other one. But, we're going to learn together what these books are. And my first book is Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. And this is the prequel to Legends and Lattes. And I love that book. It was my best book in February, I believe. Yes, it was my favorite book in February. It was the first cozy mystery that I've ever properly read. And we kind of both became obsessed with that book.
Yeah.
There is a little mouse in it who just goes, latte. And every time I described it to Connor, he just had me say it over and over again. And this one is following Viv when she is a young, when she is a mercenary. The Legends and Latte, the first book in the series, followed Viv being tired of being a mercenary, being tired of risking her life for different jobs, and instead she wanted to open up her own cafe to sell bean juice, also known as coffee. And this one follows her before that and kind of what leads up to her making that decision. So I am super excited about this one. We have this weird dog owl looking thing that we have to learn what it is.
Kind of looks like a pug.
Yeah, once I get up to who that is, I will share that with you and you.
Cool.
And I'm so excited to read this. This one's definitely going very high onto my TBR right away.
That sounds good. Meaning you'll read it in 3 months' time.
Meaning I'll read it soon.
3 months' time. Okay, well, here we have The Mountain in the Sea by Ray Naylor. I saw this book and instantly saw the big octopus on the front, and I thought, oh, that's cool. I did zoology and zoo management, so octopuses are cool. Mm-hmm. And the
octopi?
No, apparently not.
Oh. That's disappointing.
Yeah, someone might have to fact check this for me, but
editing Diana, please fact check.
Octopi is actually incorrect, and the real plural for octopus actually is octopuses.
Oh.
But I could be wrong about that. But in this book, I started reading the first couple pages, and it does say octopuses in the book.
Okay.
So I'm counting that as a point in my favor.
Well, hopefully Ray fact-checked it.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, so this is a near-future book, set mostly in Vietnam. And this actually ties in hilariously with the last video that we just recorded, Diana's...
Book bingo?
No, the Hangman.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the Hangman. Spoilers for the future videos.
Yeah, book bingo, you just had that idea for another video, so yeah, catch that one in about 3 months' time when it gets made.
Hey!
Hey!
I'm doing better.
I know you are.
There's 2 videos this week.
Yeah, but that's because I'm here, and I practically bullied you into making them. I didn't,
It's called inspiration.
I just annoyed you. Yeah, set in Vietnam. What I was Googling while Diana was talking about her first book, and I paid no attention at all, was how to pronounce the last name spelled Nguyen. Depending on who you ask, I didn't really get a straight answer. That's why I was Googling so hard. It's supposed to be pronounced Nguyen or Nguyen, or some people just say Wen, some people just say Win. Depends. But this is actually the same last name as the scientist on the Blue Origin flight, which we went into a big deep dive on in that video after playing Hangman, because clearly that's more important than the game we played. So yeah, the main character is a marine biologist, Dr. Ha Nguyen, who is studying octopuses and their intelligence, because, for those who don't know, octopuses are very intelligent. They're very smart, they're problem solvers, they communicate, all that kind of stuff.
You have seen that in Finding Dory.
Yeah. I also believe they are the only non-mammal or the only invertebrate that has been granted non-human personhood, which is like a legal thing that applies to chimps and maybe dolphins and probably some other things, that basically says these things are smart enough to be people and are deserving of more rights, even though some people still eat them while they're alive, which isn't very nice in my opinion. But yeah, let's actually talk about the book. I've done too much fucking yapping.
That's what this channel is for.
Yeah.
It's a yapping channel.
Yeah, that's true. So basically, it's about a big tech corporation who has sealed off this area where a species of octopus lives, and it's been discovered that they may have their own language and culture, so they're really clever. And this scientist is trying to go in and discover what's going on, because it turns out that the corporation involved is not very nice. Who knew? And they're trying to seize the octopuses for themselves because they're really smart and they might know things. And knowledge is power.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So this is my first ever sprayed edge book, as Diana just showed you. The front cover is very eye-catching and pretty.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. So at some point I will read this book. I'm no better than you. It might be months before I read this, but it looks cool. And there we go. I sent Spencer to sleep.
That's okay. The whole point of book hauls is to have options.
Yeah.
So.
But how many book hauls can you have before it gets silly when you haven't read any of them yet?
Well, catch the page-by-page project where I'm reading my TBR of 150 physically owned books.
Okay, so I'm not quite at that point yet.
Okay.
But we're getting there.
We'll make your own page-by-page project next year.
Okay.
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 Okay. All right. Book number 2.
Also check out the Rangers merch.
Yes.
I'm now a diehard Rangers fan because I went to one game with your dad.
Yes.
Can you put in the clip of me and him being on TV?
I will. They were on the Jumbotron.
Alright guys, go ahead. Let's go Rangers! Separation!
and promised that he would get our area of the seats in his next shot. So
They made it.
we're cool.
World famous.
Yep.
Let's go Rangers. Even though they're not in the playoffs, but we're not talking about that.
Yeah, but it was still a special game because it was Sam Rosen's last ever game before he retired after 40 years. So if you know, you know.
And no, you do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So my second book is A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. I am in my cozy fantasy era. Also, this does have sprayed edges, but they're just a color. I kind of think of it's a bit of a waste when it's just a random color and not a design. I think that's a part of why books are getting so expensive, is because everything has a sprayed edge. Also, we got quick Barnes & Noble's just thing. We got so many bookmarks from them this time, and they're all talking about there's a Barnes & Noble MasterCard credit card now, which I think is about the worst idea ever.
Don't do it.
Not for the company.
Don't do
Company's
it.
going to make so much money.
Off of you.
I will not be applying for a credit card to Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, you better not.
I am smart enough to know.
We gotta get that YouTube money.
Please subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you get a Barnes & Noble MasterCard,
Why are you so sleepy? Keep talking.
I wish you luck, because I feel like this is just... Oh, it says it's a must-have for book lovers.
Why are you
No.
sleeping?
Be smart. Don't get a credit card to a store that we all know none of us have self-control into in the first place. Okay. So, my second book is A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. And this is just such a cozy cover. Look how pretty it is. I seen this cover online a bunch, and I didn't pick it up because because as soon as it called it a fellowship, I thought of Lord of the Rings. And I thought it was going to be kind of like Lord of the Ring fan fiction in a way. And as someone who... I have read The Hobbit, but I've never read or finished the movies for Lord of the Rings. So I was worried that I would be missing out. But, I know, sorry.
Criminal.
I fell asleep
Criminal.
when we watched Lord of the Rings.
I'm aware. I'm still mad at you.
And then I woke up and just pretended it didn't happen.
You're very good at that.
Thank you.
I blinked. Diana, you fell asleep. No, I blinked.
I blinked for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is about a baker who is not magical, but her work in baking is like magic. She's just such an incredible baker. It's like magic. Now, her neighbor, who is an orc. Yes, her neighbor, who is an orc, who's her biggest baking fan, signed her up for this competition to draw more crowds. But she's the only one in the competition who is not a magical being. So the tagline is, she doesn't need to have magic in order to be magic. And it's going to be this whole thing about her journey in this baking competition, being the only human in this magical world. And I think that is so cool and so cozy. And it's so pretty. And I'm so excited. Wait. Oh, and it's a series. This is the first of the series, but there is also then A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons and A Fellowship of Games and Fables. Ooh, and this one has fake dating.
What?
Fake dating?
What does that mean?
So,
Is that where they have to pretend to be together?
yes, and then they fall in love.
Oh, I didn't know that was called that.
Yes.
There's a name for everything.
Yes, it's a trope. It's a good trope.
Okay.
It's fun.
It's not your favorite, though, is it?
No. What is my favorite trope?
Enemy to lovers.
I saw this thing online where, so your favorite trope says a lot, like, psychologically about you, because everything is, psychology, and the anxiety girlies. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I do.
A lot of times.
So does your therapist.
A lot of times have the favorite trope as enemies to lovers because your partner sees you in the worst light and still loves you.
Yeah, that sounds roughly right.
Yeah. You know what the worst trope is? Oh, there's a couple. Oh my god. Can I go on a trope rant?
Sure.
Insta love? No.
What's that one?
That's like, oh my god, we looked once, now we're deeply in love.
Love at first sight.
Insta love. It's worse than love at first sight.
How are they different?
Because insta love is like, oh my god, even though you're the TA and I'm a student and we could get in trouble, I have to have you because I looked at you once.
Well, that's kind of happening in our show. That's been happening in our show for a while.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, me neither.
We're watching Orange is the New Black, for context. And there's a insta-love thing between a guard and an inmate.
Does that also count as forced proximity? Or not?
Well, forced proximity kind of reminds me a bit of, like, Stockholm Syndrome. What is fun in terms of, like, forced proximity is, like, there's only one bed. That's fun. Oh no, it's a blizzard outside and there's only one inn available and only one room available. But we go up to the room, there's only one bed.
Okay.
Wonder what's gonna happen. Yeah, so I don't like that. I like one bed. I don't like insta love. I also don't like friends to lovers. I feel like in a series, friends to lovers is really good because you get to see them develop over time. But I struggle with when it's like a standalone book, you're assuming so much history and so much chemistry immediately that, like, I feel like there's not enough development of friendship to make me think that they're going to be more. Like in Harry Potter, I very clearly saw Ron and Hermione throughout the books. I was not surprised. Because it, like, felt like it was building up to it. But in, like, just but that was 7 books it took to get them to date.
Was it better in the books than in the movies?
Oh, yeah.
Where they just go down to the Chamber of Secrets and then they make out?
Yes.
Because that was a bit stupid.
Well, that's kind of what they do in the books. But they miss a lot of, like, the little, like, chemistry moments in the movies. Because I didn't think it was important. Because I didn't know they were going to end up together.
See, I thought the author, who must not be named, actually intended for it to be Harry and Hermione. And then just put Ron in there at the last second in the books. Is that correct?
No, that's how it comes across in the movies.
Oh.
But in the books, it's very clear.
Cool. Well, let's not give She Who Must Not Be Named and her franchise any more of our time.
Oh, I agree. But just as, like, that's, like, my perfect, like, example of, like, a... Oh, or in Percy Jackson. Percy and Annabeth. That's a great example of friends to lovers that works. Because they started out as friends and...
Well, they started out as strangers and you get to see them become friends.
Yes.
That works.
They started out as strangers, become friends slowly, and then over 5 books, then start dating.
I can get behind that, because it's like, if it's a standalone and they're introduced as besties,
Yeah.
then, you know...
But they already have too much, like, romantic chemistry.
Yeah.
It's very hard to write.
It's like they're besties for 2 chapters,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, we're in love.
Yeah.
And it's like, well...
Or it's like a pining, like, oh, I've always been in love with her.
Well, that's like a classic example of, like, telling instead of showing.
Yeah.
I can get with that.
So that's why I feel like showing a standalone enemy in the beginning is a lot, I want to say, easier than showing a friendship. Like, it's very clear to show the tension of hatred, but to actually get me to believe that they are best friends, that like doing anything will ruin this friendship, is very hard.
And you don't have to like, you can introduce an enemy outright. You don't have to show chemistry build up and stuff. They can just be enemies.
Mm-hmm.
That works.
And especially a lot of times, like, the people that you hate, it becomes so, so long and so many little, like, things that it's like, why did we start hating each other in the first place? Who cares? But I know that I don't like you.
Until you fall in love.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, in this little mini book haul, it turns out I bought the biggest book and the smallest book.
Mine are pretty consistent.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know I was buying a small book. We ended up getting this book because, Spencer, why are you being a sleepy noodle? That can't be a comfortable position.
He's flopping.
Use your bones and your muscles. Your muscles are getting stronger. Anyway, I struggle to choose books based off of either the blurb on the back or the front cover or anything like that. We're about to get into my issues.
This had a little tag.
Yeah, so I ended up finding it because Barnes & Noble likes to put little tags. I don't know if they're written by customers or...
The employees.
Oh, okay.
It's employee favorite books.
Yes, cool. The employees write little tags to describe the best parts of the book and kind of like, if you like this, then this is for you. And that's what jumped out at me. So we saw the tag and then we had to find the book. It turns out it's actually a series, which is good, because I want to be able to dig into a series. I don't want to just get to the end of a standalone book and then have to endure the pressure of finding something else that I like. Because I don't like getting into something if I don't know I'm going to like it, which applies to books, movies, TV shows, music, food, hobbies, and most other things.
Which I will say is why all of your new favorite TV shows, I've watched the first couple episodes and then went, hey Connor, do you want to watch this with me? I'll restart it with you. It's good.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Diana.
You're welcome.
That has applied to Orange is the New Black and How I Met Your Mother and The Big Bang Theory.
And Young Sheldon.
And Young Sheldon.
And Criminal Minds.
And Criminal Minds. But I pulled a sneaky on ya by doing that with The Office. And that was the first one.
And Downton Abbey.
And Downton Abbey, which I actually hadn't... Well, I did start watching it before you.
Mm-hmm.
But before I finished the first episode, I was like, we're watching this. So yeah, I need like an in-depth kind of recommendation before I can kind of get into it. So yeah, we found this one. It is All Systems Red, The Murder Bot Diaries by Martha Wells.
Do you want to show them?
Yes, I will. This is just the first one. There are 3 or 4 others after this, I think.
I think 5.
Oh, okay.
Because there's 3 volumes, each with 2 books.
Yes.
Yeah, this series also had, like, there was a volume 2 and volume 3, so they also published them with, book 1 and 2 gets published together, book 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. But they didn't have the first volume, so this is actually the first book.
Yeah, we got a little confused looking at the shelves. Like, where's volume 1? When it's just this.
Yeah.
I don't know, does this classify as a short story? How many pages are there? 149.
A bit of a novella.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. So, it's set in the future. It's a sci-fi, in case you couldn't tell. This story centers around where's the word? Security android, called SEC units for short, that are supplied by this company to its employees who go off exploring new planets and stuff. But it turns out that the android that this book is about has decided not to follow its company supplied directives, and refers to itself, but never out loud, as Murderbot. Murderbot has decided it doesn't really like humans and just wants to be left alone for long enough to figure out who it is. But then some stuff goes awry. A neighboring mission goes dark, and Murderbot and the team that they've been supplied to have to work together to get to the truth. So it sounds like a bit of a mystery, sci-fi, thriller type of thing. The interesting thing is the little employee tagline said something about how Murderbot is neurodivergent, which I thought was interesting, because it's like, how can a robot be neurospicy? But we will find out, because am I allowed to tell them that we're both a little neurospicy?
Yeah.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, maybe we'll see a little of ourselves in Murderbot. That's not doing great things for neurospicy stereotypes, but whatever. So yeah, this is my second find. I don't know, a short book could be like a breath of fresh air. I don't know, especially since it's only the beginning of a series. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's kind of the way a series should be written, where the first book is kind of short and then they get longer as you go.
It's a good palate cleanser.
Yeah. Yeah, very much the opposite of the fantasy world of Game of Thrones. But I do want to finish Game of Thrones before I start anything else. Because,
Georgie!
Yeah, hurry the fuck up, man. As we all know, A Song of Ice and Fire, the official name for the series of books that have been turned into the Game of Thrones TV show, is not finished. Which is a bit ridiculous.
We're looking at you, George.
Yeah.
We love you, but come on.
Yeah. Like, hurry up.
If he does ever finish and release the book, will you go to a midnight release party?
Maybe. The only annoying thing is Diana bought me a lovely secondhand set of all of the books that are out.
Oh, so annoying.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when the next
know.
book comes out, then it won't be a set anymore.
Well, it would kind of be like the original 7.
Yeah.
I know. It's annoying.
Oh my god, am I a bookshelf aesthetic girly?
Yes, you are.
Oh. They won't match. I don't like it.
He finally understands. Well, how do you think we all feel when the series is actively being published and they just randomly switch the titles halfway through? Switch the covers halfway through. But don't continue publishing also the original.
That should be illegal.
It should be. It's what they did with A Court of Thorns and Roses. There's...
If I was the author, I would be pissed.
Why? You're getting more money. Everyone buys a new set.
Oh, yeah. I would be happy.
Money. All right.
So, why did you allow your publisher to completely change the styling of your books? Money!
Are you Mr. Krabs? Oh, I haven't shut off my Kindle in a bit, but I got new stickers, including my cozy fantasy mug because I think it's cute with dragons coming out because dragons. I get them all off of Etsy.
That's okay. I know my place.
Where's your place?
Behind the fucking Kindle when you're showing it off.
Okay.
I feel like Mike Wazowski.
He was so happy.
Who was?
Mike.
Yeah, that's true. That's only because he was naive.
But, in Superstore, which is another show that I need to get you into next trip, there was like a moment like that as well where the manager got covered in the regional magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Look, I'm there."
Yeah, it's cute. It is.
All right, so sniff test.
Do I have to rank them all tournament style?
Yes.
Is this going to be a requirement for all book hauls from now on?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do your books first. No. This one wins out of Diana's too. This one's small. I wonder if it'll... No, it's a smaller book. There's less smell. The sprayed edge books never smell that good, or don't have much smell, but this one is only a little bit sprayed compared with
Well, that's supposed to be
that
like
one.
shark teeth.
No, I think they're supposed to be octopus eyes, in a sense. Octopuses have very strange shaped eyes. Their pupils are like a peanut shape, like a figure eight. There's probably a more scientifically correct term for that. But look.
Yeah, they are. That's cool.
Yeah. Their eyes are more powerful than ours. They have compound eyes. No. That's not the right... No. Compound eyes are what, like, flies have.
Ew, those are creepy.
Yeah.
They're like the...
No, I'm getting confused now. It's been years since I did this. Anyway, they have the same type of eyes as we do. We have some of the most specialized eyes of any animals, but octopus eyes are a tiny bit better. They can see more colors. Well, no. Yes, but they can see a little bit more color than we can, I think.
So how do we know that?
I don't know.
Like, let's get into it. Like, how do we know that dogs only see, like, blue and yellow?
Probably because we've dissected them and figured out that it's to do with the cones and rods, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 types that let us see blue, green, and red.
Yeah.
And everything in between. But presumably somebody diagnosed a dog's eyes and figured out they only have 2 of those. They won't have any red, because blue and green will make shades of blue and yellow and stuff like bluey, which I've never seen. But on with the sniff test.
Oh, you didn't sniff that one.
No, I know. It's been so long I have to remind myself. There's not much smell in these. I can't pick a winner out of either of these two, which means this has to be the best one.
I win again!
Yeah, crazy.
Do you want to know what the book that won last time? I didn't read it yet.
Of course you didn't read it yet.
I know, but I'm so excited. It's literally on the top of my TBR. Oh, it's not that one. I grabbed the wrong one. Oh.
It's right on the top of your DBR. This one must have... Maybe it lost a little of its scent.
Probably.
It's not that strong.
Probably. It's been a while.
Okay.
It went on an airplane.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, this is also on the top of my TBR. It's another cozy fantasy.
It's also on the top of your TBR?
I have a lot on the top of my TBR.
That's not how that works.
Listen, I understand when you prioritize everything, nothing is prioritized. But that is also how I live my life. I love you.
I love you too. I'm rethinking everything.
Where's your ring?
It's right there.
Okay. Hey! Why?
I'm kidding, I would never, but you need to stop prioritizing everything at once.
I try.
If you mark all your emails as urgent, none of them are urgent.
This is why I have over 900 unread emails. Because I mark them all as not
One
urgent.
at a time. Not everything can be joint first place on your TBR list.
I know, it's a problem.
If you really can't choose, then read the oldest ones first.
Ugh, no, those are the yucky ones.
Not.
Those are the ones that are going in the DNR.
How can they be at the
DNF
top?
graveyard.
How can they be at the top of your TBR, but you know they're going to be DNF?
That's why they're not at the top.
No, I meant.
Oh, do you mean the oldest out of the top?
Yes.
Oh.
The ones at the very top of your TBR.
Yeah.
Find the ones that you bought earliest because they've been sitting there the longest. They're like old pets at a shelter.
Yeah.
They need to be rehomed.
Yeah.
They deserve it the most.
Everyone wants the puppies. I want to read the books we just bought.
Nope. Not allowed. Unless you can put the books that you bought first right at the top of your TBR.
Look
and
how
put the-
Italian I'm making him. Look at those hands.
That's what happens when you enrage me. See what I have to deal with?
Okay, so
Thank you. Just trying to give you a bit of logic because you have none. You're welcome.
thank you.
You're welcome.
This is why we work. He has logic, I have anxiety.
Yep. Polar opposites.
Yep.
Hi, Spencer. No, you're not a noodle, you're a dog.
Please subscribe to my mommy.
Bye. Yeah, I love you. Spencer, do you have anything to say? What do you have to say for yourself? Do you have anything to say to the allegations that you're the most beautiful dog in the whole world?
These are the 4 books that we bought. And maybe one day, eventually, when we read these, we'll do a wrap-up.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I had a lot of fun shopping with you.
Yeah, me too. We didn't film any of it because it was
No.
unplanned.
Yeah. And we're tired.
Yeah. Just took Spencer to the vet. And Petco doesn't sell surgical suits. Fix that. I know, buddy. I know. We had to get one off the Amazon. We had to put money in Mr. Bezos' pocket. Yes, I know. And then we were like, hey, let's hit up Barnes & Noble. Make this day a little better. Because Petco ruined it for us. Whee!
So, if you are still here and listening to all of our yapping, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those YouTube things, and I will catch you in the next video.
Spencer's sleepy.